Boys and girls, it's a very special day here at Poor Boys RC today. May I welcome you to Project 959.
Excellent!
In today's video, we're going to unbox Project 959, and we're going to have an exclusive interview with the master creator behind this cool project, Mr. Rob Mitchell, aka Need a Bigger Shed. Also want to give a huge shout out to my man James for sending this over to the channel. This does not belong to me. This was a very limited run of RCs that were specifically designed by Rob Mitchell. Bit of a passion project that he put together. Small run. This was purchased by one of you viewers, James. So here it is. Thanks, James. You're the best. Now, right off the bat, you guys might be looking at this box thinking, well, why would you make a replica of the Tamiya Porsche 959? That is not what this is. Back in the day when the original Tamiya Porsche 959 was released, the creator of Project 959, Rob Mitchell, was a little displeased with some of the, let's say, inaccuracies in the scale detailing of that model. So what he's done is taken a 12 scale Tamiya platform, the MF-01X, but he's put his own twist on it. He's designed his own wheels, tires, body, all that good stuff. We're gonna get into that in a few minutes. We can obviously see that Rob's taken some inspiration from Tamiya box art. In my opinion, this is awesome. And guys, look how nice this looks. Man, very Tamiya-esque with the writing down below here, the big bold letters up top, RMR up here. Interestingly enough, Rob Mitchell Racing, Rob Mitchell. I don't think he legally changed his name just to match that. Maybe he did. I mean, some guys are a little more enthusiastic than others. But just looking around the box, he has done just such an awesome job of taking that Tamiya box feel and elevating it. Guys, I really want to see what's in this box. Let's take a look. There it is there, guys. How wonderful does this look? This right here, I just love. Dear Project 959 owner, I wanted to add this note to your kit as an expression of gratitude for joining me on this exhilarating journey of crafting 100 kits of the legendary Desert Racer. Really nice, even signs each one. I love the RMR logo down there. It's so good. And of course, Need a Bigger Shed. This is great. It's just so nice to open the box, see this, and just really adds to that special feeling of this kit. You know, first thing, guys, this body's kind of standing out to me. So let's take a look at this body. We have got the Porsche 959. Have a look at that. A little different than the Tamiya body. Some more attention was paid to the details, the exact fine details of the Porsche 959. Some of the details that Tamiya may have missed. Look at the beautiful packaging on everything here, guys. Project 959 cockpit. Looks like you could sell these in a retail store. Looks so good. Now we've got some driver's heads here. We've got the portion of the steering wheel. Here we've got the actual driver's cockpit. You can see the two drivers there. Paint them up, put some heads on them. You've got a driver and a navigator. So cool. Oh, here we go. The Project 959 Desert Gripper tires. Look at these, guys. Now, you guys know me in my unboxings. I always do a tire sniff. However, this kit's not mine, so I'm not going to open this box. But there's a little hole right here. I wonder if we can... Oh, yeah. Oh, it smells like a custom blend. A fine mixture of rubber, silicone, latex, and all sorts of tirey goodness. But we've got foams inside there, guys. We've got a great looking tread pattern. Nice, soft, supple feel to these tires. They look awesome. Now, I don't know if these are exact replicas of what would have been on the original Porsche 959, like the OG rally car, but we're gonna ask Rob later on in this video. Looks like here we've got a headlight bucket set up here. We've got the rear wing for the body, also in a hard plastic, and nicely labeled on the back here, guys. Custom parts. Oh, here. It's a Ziploc. I can open it and not wreck the whole experience. Here we go. So we've got our headlight buckets there. We've got our nice big Porsche wing in the back. And our Project 959 drive shaft right there. Very nice. So here we've got some upgraded suspension components. The Racing shocks. So a nice aluminum oil-filled shock, adjustable collar on there. A must-do upgrade for any Tamiya that comes with friction shocks. A couple nice boxes here. Again, guys, look at the presentation, the packaging. Man, like nothing else. So here looks like we've got a nice skid plate, front to rear, I'm not too sure. And then here we've got our 3D printed wheels. Looks like we've got a beadlock style 3-piece wheel. Here we've got the outer portion of the rim, the inner, and then the backing. All wonderfully presented. In the next box, what have we got here? Look at all the, again, guys, the packaging. I just love it. It makes it feel so much more special than the average kit. So front support, looks like we've got some 3D printed front supports here. Everything's labeled beautifully. Rear light cluster. Look at that. Incredible. Exhaust and clamps. So we've got some 3D printed exhaust pipes here. Very cool. We've got some 2A tape to hold everything together. Look at this bearing set. My gosh, that is just incredible. Looks so nice. Ball bearings on a Tamiya. You guys know the deal. Always with the plastic bushings. And then here we've got some washers for our body posts. Very, very, very nice. In the final box here, what do we got here, guys? We've got 5mm light bucket adapters. So I guess if you want to go with a larger 5mm headlight, that is beautiful. Front bumper assembly right there. Nice little foam bumper. Oh, mud flaps. Wow, look at those guys. Beautiful mud flaps. Looks like a Project 959 spray mask maybe. And then some sort of a grill. What's this? Yeah, front grill frame. Very, very cool. Let's switch this bad boy around so you guys can see this side now. So again, some more amazing artwork here. That looks like it's fixed in there. Yes, it is. Okay, so what's sitting on top? This is cool. An item checklist. Attention to detail. I can tell Rob's a very detail-oriented guy. I love it. So here we've got the ESC the kit comes with. This looks like the Hobbywing 1060. Very standard, perfect ESC for a kit like this in my opinion. Waterproof, good for 2 to 3S. Look at this cool partition. Yeah, so we can open this up and reveal what's inside. I don't want to do that. I don't want to take away from the experience from the original owner and damage some screws or something. But yeah, we've got some parts inside here, some hardware. And then at the same time, this can actually double as a stand. Very cool. Here we're getting into the plastic chassis components of the Tamiya MF-01X. So we've got our center chassis components. And what Rob did was buy many Tamiya MF-01Xs and just gutted the boxes. So you're getting everything you would get if you bought an MF-01X from your local hobby store. And there's our motor right there. So we've got the torque tune that the MF-01X would come with, just packaged a little bit more professionally. A bunch more plastic parts, friction shocks, no bueno. Here we have our front and rear gear cases, battery tie downs. Of course, the Tamiya instruction manual. You guys heard me rave about those enough. I'm not going to go into that. This is more of a dedicated video to the Project 959. Here it looks like we have a little bit of Lexan, possibly a Lexan wing or a wing cover. I'm not too sure. We've got some body clips, black antenna tube, and the decals. Boy, oh boy, guys, look at these decals. And looking at those edges, they even look like they're die cut. Rob, are these die cut? Maybe not die cut, but trimmed, I should say. Because that is such a lifesaver. Look at that, all the instructions right there, guys. Man, the colors are nice and vibrant. Look at the print quality on that Rothmans logo. No bleed through on the speedometer cluster. Everything just looks really, really good. All right, let's try this a third time.
Back again.
Rob Mitchell, the man behind Project 959. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Phil. Good to talk to you.
Tell us all about Project 959. What made you do this? What got you to this point?
Well, this project, Project 959, was born out of me being curious about building a 959, basically. So I bought a chassis from Tamiya, MF-01X, which I thought was pretty good 4x4 chassis, and I'm also the European distributor for L&L models. So Project 959, that's born out of my curiosity to build a radio controlled 959. Now, I know people will say, yeah, there was one built by Tamiya and it's iconic and it's back from the 80s, and I grew up in that period, and I have to admit that I didn't like that car. The scale was all wrong for me. I was a Sand Scorcher Rough Rider guy, and the 959 came out just after I'd got my Sand Scorcher and running that and enjoying that. It didn't sit right, you know, it didn't sit right on the yellow wheels. It just didn't look right. The car was an icon. Everybody had 959 posters in their bedrooms when they were kids. So now I got the opportunity to build one as importer of L&L models for Europe. We have a 959 body shell. I needed a chassis for it, so I sourced the MF-01X chassis. But then I hit a big problem. The problem was the body shell for 959 is 210mm wheelbase. And none of the kits from Tamiya come with a 210 prop shaft anymore, a drive shaft. So I went out into my shed and found some high-grade alloy, and I made myself a short drive shaft for my kit. And I also sell bearing kits, so I had a bearing kit, so I put that in there, and one thing led to another, and I completely built this prototype car, which is here.
So that's your original prototype?
That's the original prototype that I built.
Very cool.
So there's bits and pieces on here that are in the kit, but some bits aren't in the kit. They've progressed from that. So I built this for me. I was work in progress. I was adding details to it, like roof lights and stuff, and body clips on the back, mud flaps, front skid, rear skid, and carbon with exhausts.
I love the mud flaps.
Rear wing, solid rear wing, cockpit inside with drivers with custom heads. It just goes on and on. So I just kept adding bits to it, and I stuck it online, and people were getting interested in that. Oh, this is nice. But then the project I was chatting to a couple of guys I know online, and I said, what if I was to make these? And they're like laughing, what if I was to make a kit? And they were sort of, no, you wouldn't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Challenge accepted.
Game on. So the next thing was, okay, this is quite a challenge. I need to source a chassis. I need to get the shells. I've even sourced my own tyres for it, which are slightly smaller. They're 24mm wide instead of 26mm, a bit more scale. They're not M size wheels. I made the wheels myself, 3 components, as you see in the kit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's a huge array of parts that I make here with 3D printing, or I can buy in. And then it was like, how many kits am I going to make? Looking into the logistics of it all. And you can see the boxes behind me.
Yeah.
And now you see the size of it. It's a 4 kilo box. I thought, quite a big shed, but am I going to get 100 boxes in there, or 150 or 200 boxes in there? I had 3 pallets of kits arrive. This is the biggest order of MF01X kits that Tamiya Belgium has ever had.
Did anyone give you any grief on that? Did any Tamiya executives call you up saying, "What the heck are you doing?"
They think I was kidding. Of course, I'm building a 959, and my 959 is based on the real car, so the real 959, which I had the honour of getting up close and touching and putting my car on it because it was standing in Brussels in the museum.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to know the director of the car museum in Brussels. I got to see the 185, which was driven by Jackie X, the Belgian champion. And that was where I went. I wanted to go that way. And of course, it does look like the Tamiya car because it's pretty much the same car.
Yeah.
It's the same shell.
Yeah.
But parts on it are all custom by me, so it doesn't. It looks like that. But the box, to me, you see the box art, you've seen it there.
Yeah.
The box, the whole feeling of an artist's drawn box representation is what we grew up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. That box with the top that slides off.
Yeah.
And you get that smell of new tires, plastic bags in there, the book.
Sure.
Yeah. So whatever brand you look at, the big guys, they have a nice box. And that was how they sold stuff back then.
Yeah.
So I wanted people to have that experience. If I'm going to be building this, I want to build it how I would want it myself. So I found a local printer to print the boxes, and that was a minimum of 100 units they would do. Okay. But if I did 20 units, the price was multiplied by 3. It's just like I had to price the whole thing up. A bill of materials of everything I needed. I'm used to that from work, making a bill of materials, but basically that includes the plastic bag, heat sealed bag, a bit of cardboard in there with some ink on it. Yeah. You've got to break it down to every single component that's in the box. Yeah. So for me, it was a massive challenge to do that as well.
Yeah, I discussed that in the unboxing. I discussed that a little bit. I'm like, just the attention to detail and the fact that like you really did capture that feeling that we had as kids. You just explained it perfectly. I couldn't explain it any better. Of just the box, and the box sold you on whatever was inside the box. And then you had that moment when you opened it, and that smell and the sound and everything that it made, and it was just it was almost overwhelming as a kid to see all those parts and the big tires and things, and it was just
That's it.
a different world.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah,
That's
you've
what I
taken
wanted,
that
a
and
layered
like,
experience.
yeah, elevated that. I think I said that in the unboxings that you elevated that experience. Yeah.
That's, you didn't get it in the original packaging, because when the original packaging opens, you got a piece of a print in there. Welcome to your next adventure, I think it said on there.
Actually, he did include that. He did include that in the box.
He did include that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
So,
yeah, he did.
Layer upon layer, and even like the handwritten kit number.
Sure.
It's got a sticker over it.
Yeah.
With the shape of the 959 on it, so a transparent sticker stuck over the ink.
Oh, I didn't realize the sticker was transparent. It's a transparent 959 sticker.
There we go. Another look. Look at the sticker on the number.
Yeah.
It's a 959 cutout stuck on it.
Interesting.
So they're like little holographic sticker to go on the box. Just layer upon layer of depth to it, which of course required a lot of investment of money and time and storage space, because all these things were coming in. I've got these plastic tubs full of 3D prints that I'm throwing off the printer. I threw away tubs of prints because they weren't what I wanted. And when I was doing some assembly, I realized it's not quite what I wanted. And the development continued throughout the process, and I put out a video every week to these guys that bought into this dream that I had.
Yeah.
So they had a weekly vlog update, the ups and downs of it all, the ins and outs.
Yeah.
Because it was a long process. It was a long process to get it done. And these crazy people followed me. and I'm ever so thankful to them, who understood what I was doing. They understood that this was a personal challenge for me to produce my car how I wanted it. But then the fact that people wanted that, like, mind-blowing. They wanted my car.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Some will never build them. Some will just stash them.
Yeah.
Some are already building them, and have been messaging me with tips and stuff. And some are going to take it to another level by adding more detail to it, which is exactly how I see this whole RC game that we're in. Yeah, we have this ready to run stuff, which is for playing areas at skate parks and whatever.
Yeah.
But we have the modelers, the crazy guys that grew up with no internet, no TV around, no distractions, making stuff. And that was my whole idea behind it. And it just snowballed. Snowballed, and I launched it, and I had to ask for a deposit from people because I needed to fund the project. Then it just kept going. So from one little bit of aluminium like that, it developed into
Isn't that crazy?
Experience.
Well, I mean, as I was looking at it, and I can't have all of my thoughts in my videos. I have to kind of keep them condensed because people on YouTube, I don't think really want to watch, something that's that long, kind of long term, right? They want to see kind of condensed versions of things more often than not. But as I was looking at it, I'm just thinking to myself, like, the amount of time and effort. So you must have come up with a prop shaft. Like, okay, I got a prop shaft. Okay, now I want to put it in a bag. Okay, where do I get the bag? And then seal the bag. Okay, now I want to put a little cardboard insert in the bag. Okay, what kind of font am I going to use? How am I going to, like, the detail in every little bit? It's just, it's a modeler's dream just to kind of look at it. It's kind of bridging that gap between like modeling and RC, where you've got this functional model with high detail everywhere. It's just something different. It's not something that I've experienced opening in that box before. It's, again, just next level, a really kind of a next level experience.
The line on the old Sand Scorcher box is what scale model suitable for radio control.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not buying an RC car. We're buying a scale model.
Yeah.
But you can make it RC.
Yeah.
That's what was on the Sand Scorcher.
Oh, is that right?
Boxes. Yeah, and that's the really the early ones. That's what it was. They were scale models. But because RC gear was so expensive, you could have this full suspension, independent suspension bug, desert racer, but you could put radio control gear in it. So that's sort of where I wanted to go with the 959. Mm-hmm. This is going to. People do sit their cars on the shelves. I've got them all lined up here.
Sure.
Mine will run or are in R&D phase. for parts and stuff. But I want it to be at home as well there.
Yeah.
Or in someone's living room is a
Sure.
talking point.
Yeah.
And again, I'm playing on this nostalgia market, I guess. And everybody that bought one has been. I don't think any youngsters have bought them.
No, you're definitely tugging on the nostalgia heartstrings, and now's the time to do it because, you know, I know like Tamiya did some re-releases in the early 2010s. You know, think about Team Associated, right? They tried the RC10 re-release in I think 2013 or whatever it was, 15 I think it was, and it flopped really hard.
Yeah.
And now here we are, Team Associated selling RC10 re-re's and calling them limited, but they're not limited, and now we have the Jam and J coming out, which is really not that different than an RC10. You know what I mean? I mean, it's still a really cool item. I'm not taking anything away from it, but point is that the vintage re market is white hot right now, and your timing couldn't have been better.
No, it was spot on. There was a lot of speculation that Tamiya were going to reissue the 959.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they do or whether they don't ever, you know, they're very much in bed with Porsche. We know this. They've just released the 956. All the commemorative cars have been the Porsches. It was I believe it was their first kit as well. Who knows? But you know, I took this. This is on quite a simple chassis. According to a lot of people, very simple. But yeah, you and me and a lot of your followers know that this chassis is ridiculously capable.
Yeah, we did some things with the chassis this year that you're not supposed to do.
Stuff with these chassis.
Just talk to Bryce, Jack of Trades. He'll tell you. For everybody watching, of course, you guys know the 2024 Speedrun Challenge, and this is a vehicle that Rob made, which was in the open class, which tends to be the guys that go ballistic, 100 plus miles per hour. And he built this beautiful rear wheel drive. This is an MF-01X, guys, if you can believe it. And obviously highly modified, given the Rob flavor. Look at that machine. Wow. Oh, that's gorgeous.
But like I said, it's the fastest car in the world that doesn't go fast.
That's it. That's right.
I've got 50. I've got 50 out of it in the meantime.
Nothing wrong with 50, and it looked good doing it. He didn't destroy it, so you know what? You got some style points at the end.
To take away from it, it is a 4x4 chassis. It's good, and I would say it's more robust than the original one that Tamiya used.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is about as stable as a donkey with 3 legs in a hurricane.
Yeah.
You know, it will just fall to bits by looking at it badly.
That's right.
I knew people that drove them when they were new, and they were still delicate, and
yeah,
they drove well. But you know, they've just released this Hornet Evolution. I hope if they do a 959, they're going to say we're going to do something of an evolution.
That'd be nice.
Which will upset the guys that collect and want the old stuff.
Yeah.
But I believe it's going to open up the door to people who would like a runner, you know, something more reliable, that they can spend their money on something from one of these ready to run stuff, or they can buy a scale model suitable for radio control.
Yeah.
There were a lot of comments during the process to put it on the new XM1 Pro. Chassis. It wasn't actually released. I got one. I've got one over here. I bought a very early one to test it, to see if I could get the body shell on it.
Yeah.
And it does go on it, but my wheels don't go on it because I used oversized wheels.
Oh, I see.
It's a tub chassis, and they rub on the tub, so it would go. You'd have to restrict your steering parameters. Would work, but
that probably would have driven the price up a bit too, right?
€280.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Chassis. I was like, my kit was already rather expensive, but I sold these at.
Yeah.
There's no way I could have done it for less. It's if I add up all my hours that I put into it,
it's a major loss.
I'm giving them away basically.
Yeah.
It sounds stupid.
Passion project though. You don't do it. You don't do it for the money. You do it for the love of what you're doing.
But yeah, I've not lost any money on it. There's no way I've done that. I would have done that. But I did it also to to have something behind me, you know, because I make custom stuff
Yeah.
for cars, and the Mercedes C11, for example. I do a lot of custom kits. I've sold almost 200 kits around the world for that.
Is that right? Well,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I just wanted it was a personal project, put it that way.
One and done.
Their car is rarer than the Tamiya 959.
Yeah.
There will only ever be 100 in the world.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I wanted to ask you about the tires. You said earlier that the tires, you select them. Are they like a scale version of what would have been on the original vehicle?
You can see it on there. What I've done, I've cheated. So you've got the tire, which is a modern tire, but then you've got a black edge next to it. I don't know if that's in focus. And
Okay,
that's
yeah.
carbon. That's a carbon outer rim on the wheel.
Oh, okay.
The white is the hub, which slides into the rim.
Yeah.
So what I've done is increased the height of the sidewall.
Gotcha.
Give it that 80s look. You can peel it off.
Okay, I see. I gotcha. So the insert of like the 3-piece wheel is acting as kind of an outer lip almost, giving you the illusion of a higher sidewall on the tire.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not the first to do that. To cut these, so I got 2mm neoprene, and then I made a die cutter to cut them.
Oh, really?
So I tried laser cutting them, but the edges go all brown.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I folded a piece of steel into a square and then sharpened it.
Really?
And just cut out 400 of those.
See, this is going back to what we were just talking about when I said, you know, you don't realize how much effort would have had to have gone into this. You see,
Yeah.
I think, you know, it would be simple to dismiss that mud flap as saying it's a little square piece of neoprene. Like, what's the big deal? But, you know, right away you said, try laser cutting and it leaves a burnt edge. Okay, we can't have that. Okay, now what? I would never have thought that you came up with your own custom steel die.
Made a cutter
Really?
because I needed that dimension, yeah.
No, that kind of lends itself to what we were saying before, right? People, I think, can look at it very easily and dismiss it as, yeah, it's just a box with some 3D printed parts. It's not. It's not at all. It's so much more than that. And if anybody knew, even the amount of effort that it would take to 3D print, design and print those wheels, like I bet that wasn't, you know, you come up with one design and voila, it works perfectly the first time miraculously. It doesn't work like that. Yes, sir. Well, I think that's it, buddy. Let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks again for Project 959. It's awesome. We love it.
You're welcome. Thanks, Bill.
Appreciate it, Rob. You're the best.
You're welcome.
All
Cheers,
right.
man.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.